Welcome back to Spotted Red. Let's do a midseason awards for the NFL. I'll do a MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, the Comeback Player, and then the Coach of the Year. And then I'm going to add just one more just to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to add Spotted Red's favorite player right now, which will mostly focus on my home team, so feel free to skip it if you want. I would like to talk about my favorite players on the Falcons right now. My pick for MVP would be Lamar Jackson. With his ability to run the ball as well, he only has 1,950 yards passing. That's below the top 10 mark. He has 9 TDs, only 3 interceptions, but that 440 yards rushing is actually in the top 20 of all the running backs as well. But what Lamar brings to that team, the confidence, the leadership, I know he doesn't say much, they talk about it, but they also talk about how his work ethic and so forth brings so much leadership to the team. We always know the Ravens always bring a good defense to the field, but Lamar's just that leader on the offense that they need. And right now, I think he's just playing at that caliber when he won the MVP back in 2019. So with him playing similar back to 2019, they actually have a really good shot of making the Super Bowl. I mean, the AFC, you still got to get past Mahomes. Burrows is starting to get healthy, and that Bengals team is looking a lot better. I would actually like to see Lamar make it to the Super Bowl. For honorable mention, I actually have Tua Tagovailoa and Jared Goff. Tua is playing extremely well. He's not thrown too many interceptions. He does have Tyreek Hill and Waddle, Mostert. There's a lot of talent around him. He did go put on some more muscle. He went to some martial art classes to learn how to fall. So he's trying to improve himself, and look at how well the Dolphins are playing. The other one is Jared Goff. The Rams just sent him off to the Lions and said, we don't think you're a good enough quarterback. He's went to the Lions. They've put some talent around him. Dan Campbell has come in, put a good team together. Jared Goff is playing really good. His quarterback ratings, 96.4. I didn't mention Tua. Tua actually has 106. He has the highest in the league. Jared, I don't think he's getting enough credit. He was kind of just a sidebar for the Rams. Those would be my two guys behind Lamar. For the Offensive Player of the Year, I got Tyreek Hill. I mean, he's on path to break the 2,000 receiving mark, which would be incredible. He has 1,076 yards with 8 TDs right now. He brings so much to that Miami offense with all the motion that they're using. We all know he's probably the fastest guy in the NFL, even though a few of his teammates might disagree with him. Tyreek is playing almost at an MVP level, too. I almost put him in for the MVP. But I just think Lamar as a whole means so much because we all know how important the quarterback position is in the NFL. So for honorable mention, I have A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown has a chance too. I mean, he's over the 1,000-yard mark as well. He helps Hurts a ton, giving him a big target to throw to. You can give a lot of the Eagles' success to A.J. Brown. So he was my pick for honorable mention. For the Defensive Player of the Year, I have Daniel Hunter. He's got 46 tackles with 13 tackles for loss with 10 sacks. He is playing at a very high level. Minnesota, they just beat the Falcons with a third-string quarterback, even though Dobbs would really be a backup. But Minnesota's won 4 in a row. They're starting to play much better. Almost 2-3 weeks ago, everybody was wondering where Hunter might be traded to. But instead, Minnesota held tight. They're playing really well. Even after losing Kirk Cousins to an Achilles injury, they still have a pretty good shot of making the playoffs. Daniel Hunter would be my pick for Defensive Player of the Year right now. I'm going to honorable mention. I know everyone is talking about Myles Garrett. He is a dominant force. I put Daniel Hunter over because he does more tackles. He chases guys down a little more. We know what Garrett brings to the field. I actually have 2 more just because TJ Watt means so much to his defense, and Max Crosby, his stats come very close to Daniel Hunter as far as getting those tackles. But these 4 guys are the elite of defensive ends right now, and they deserve all the credit. On to the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I actually have CJ Stroud. This kid, gracious. He has played 8 games in the NFL. He has thrown 14 touchdowns with only 1 interception. This is as a rookie going on a team that has been in shambles for years. CJ Stroud, I know all the Panther fans are going, what have we done? It's still early. What this kid is doing on a rookie level, it's incredible what this kid is doing. You could almost put him in the MVP talks if this continues at the rate he's going. He has a passer rating over 100. It's been very impressive. His confidence on the field, his leadership as a young kid coming into the NFL. I can't wait to see how he finishes the year up. Honorable mention goes to Jordan Addison. With Justin Jefferson going down, Jordan Addison has stepped up for the Minnesota Vikings. He has caught 7 touchdowns, so he has kind of stepped into that spot for Justin while he's been out hurt. Jefferson might come back this week, I would think possibly next week, but it has allowed Minnesota not to lose too much. The next one is one of the best stories of the year. It's Puka Nacua for the Rams. He's incredible. He's another incredible kid. I keep using incredible, but he's playing. His route running. You come in on a team that has Cooper Kupp. Kupp was hurt in the beginning of the year. Stafford just started honing in on Puka. They built a great rapport with each other, mostly due to how well Puka runs routes. They also added Tutu Atwell to the Rams. It's a very young wide receiver core, and Stafford has done really well adapting to them, and Puka has stepped up and looked like Cooper Kupp. I know Kupp is supposed to be back soon. When Kupp came back, Puka's targets went down just a little bit. Still, he's having an incredible year, especially for just a 5th round pick. But those would be my honorable mention for Offensive Rookie of the Year. For Defensive Rookie of the Year, I have Devon Witherspoon for the Seattle Seahawks. He has 39 tackles, 2 sacks, 9 pass defenses, and 1 97-yard pick 6. He is playing very well. He was a top 10 pick for the Seahawks, and he's playing at, again, the word elite and incredible is going to keep coming up. He's playing at an elite level for rookie. For honorable mention, I have Jalen Carter. A lot of people passed on him due to the car wreck at the University of Georgia. There was a lot of questions about his work ethic, so forth. Talent's talent, and he is showing it. He is going to be a force. I could actually see him moving towards that Aaron Donald top player. I think he can be that dominant. Jalen Carter is showing that he can be a force as a defensive tackle. My other honorable mention would be Will Anderson. I've talked about him on my college rankings. I actually thought he should have had a shot of winning the Heisman that one year. He was doing so much for the Alabama defense. Now he's come in and he's playing extremely well for the Houston Texans. The Texans are showing that they have drafted incredibly well, getting CJ Stroud, and then they went and moved up and got Will Anderson. They did very well with their first 2 picks this year. So you have to give the Texans credit. But that would be my 3 for the Rookie Defensive Player of the Year. Now we'll discuss the comeback player of the year so far. Adam Thielen came from Minnesota, signed with the Carolina Panthers. He has 62 receptions for 610 yards with 4 TDs. The Panthers traded up to get Bryce Young, and they gave DJ Moore away. Adam has come in, and Adam had been declining, it seemed like, in Minnesota over the past few years. Maybe it was more about Justin Jefferson getting more targets, but he has came to the Panthers and added a solid, dependable wide receiver that Young can look for and throw to. My honorable mention is Damar Hamlin. Still an incredible story. He died on the football field last year, and the paramedics and them got him back. It's still an incredible story. The only reason I didn't pick him is because he hadn't truly got back on the field yet. He has been practicing. I can't wait for him to actually get back on the field and get that first tackle. It's still an incredible story. And if you haven't looked at that, please go out and read about everything that happened to this poor kid and how he's come back. But those are my 2 comeback players so far. Okay, on to the Coach of the Year. I'm actually going to break this into both conferences because I think there's two guys that both deserve Coach of the Year and they should just be given a nomination together. So I have Dan Campbell on the NFC side. What he has done with the Lions. The Lions have never been to a Super Bowl. They hadn't won a playoff game since Barry Sanders, I think. That team has been in disarray for so long. He has come in there. They've drafted well. They've made good moves as far as free agency. A lot of that has to do with Dan Campbell. He's a very positive person. He has brought in a good coaching staff. He deserves to be the Coach of the Year for the midseason so far. On the AFC, DeMeco Ryans, another team that has been just in disarray for 2 years. He played for the Houston Texans. They've hired him in. They got C.J. Stroud. The defense is looking good. He has turned that team around so quickly. If you've looked, Houston's been making top 5 picks for the last few years, and he has already made them a playoff contender. So I think there should be a co-award here with Dan Campbell and DeMeco Ryans. So instead of doing an honorable mention, since I picked two guys, I'm going to do a hot seat. And they're talking about Bill Belichick being on the hot seat. Are you freaking nuts? The Patriots are stupid at even thinking about this. The guy has 3 losing seasons in 23 years since he came to the Patriots in 2000. And who can name me the 2 coaches before him? One of them left to go to USC, and there's some controversy there. The other one was a very good coach that won 2 Super Bowls with another team. Bill Belichick has been a staple. They call it the Patriot way. How in the world, like, as a Falcons fan who has never won a Super Bowl, and that guy right there is one of the reasons, but people are so unappreciative sometimes of the overall, I know this is a win now league, but look at what this guy has done for your franchise. You are considered one of the biggest dynasties ever. And it's because of Bill Belichick. I know he turned Tom Brady into what Brady is to me. I know Brady still has that work ethic, but golly, I don't see how you can even fathom him being on the hot seat. But that's just my personal opinion. Okay, I'm going to have a little fun here. So this is Spider Red's favorite player so far in the midseason. And I have Nate Landman. He's a linebacker for the Falcons. The radio host for the Falcons, Dave Archer, and some of the other guys, they have been, every time he gets a tackle, they've been calling it landmines. Landman is all over the field. He's been an incredible addition to the Falcons. He came from Colorado, but he is fun to watch. He a lot of people don't like Keith Brooking. I always liked him because he played so well for us. He's kind of got that Brooking type feel to me a little bit. And then honorable mention is our kicker, Young Wei Koo. You gotta love Koo. He hardly ever misses a field goal. He actually started from the AAF. If anybody remembers what that is, that's the Alliance of American Football. That was the spring league. And Atlanta actually had one of those teams. It was called the Atlanta Legends. And Koo was on that team. And that's how he actually got more videotape for the Falcons. And then the Falcons picked him up, and he has been, we hadn't had a kicker like this. Well, I can't say that because we had Brian too. I was about to say we hadn't had a kicker since Mortensen, but that's not true because of Brian. We've always, for whatever reason, we've always been lucky with kickers. Maybe we can turn that around and go back to having a good quarterback. A lot of people don't like Matt Ryan, but I'm kind of missing him right now. But anyway, I just wanted to have a little fun with who my favorite player is right now. Thank you for listening to Spider Red. Tell somebody you love them. Later.